Your neighbor does not own a home. He has been renting for 15 years. Every family gathering, someone brings it up. Still renting? You are just paying someone else's mortgage. He smiles. He says nothing. His investment portfolio is worth $480,000. Yours is worth $23,000. Your house has gone up in value. Everyone can see that. What almost no one calculates is everything it cost you to get there. A home is the most emotionally defended financial decision most people ever make, which is exactly why it is also the most financially misunderstood. Most homeowners have never stripped out the interest, the maintenance, the insurance, the property taxes, the opportunity cost of the down payment, and asked, "What did I actually earn?" So here is the question this video answers. Why was buying a house potentially your worst financial decision? Not because homeownership is always wrong, because the financial story you were told about it left out the three things that determine whether it actually worked for you. 3 problems with the most celebrated financial decision in America. The first problem: the price you see is not the price you pay. Before we go any further, let me introduce you to the 2 people at the center of this. The first is Paul. Paul is 46. He bought his first home in the suburbs of Dallas at 28. Purchase price, $420,000. Down payment, $84,000. Mortgage, $336,000. 30-year loan at 5.5% interest. Paul felt smart. Paul bought early. Paul has been building equity ever since. The second is Rachel. Rachel is 44. She bought at 38 when she finally felt ready. Purchase price, $680,000. Down payment, $136,000. Mortgage, $544,000. 30-year loan at 6.8% interest. Rachel felt proud. She had finally stopped renting. She had finally done what everyone said she should. Keep both of them in mind, because neither of them has ever sat down and calculated what their home has actually cost them. Let us start with Paul. Paul borrowed $336,000 at 5.5% over 30 years. His monthly payment, approximately $1,907. Over 30 years, Paul makes 360 payments of $1,907. Total repaid, $686,520. Paul borrowed $336,000. Paul repays $686,520. The difference, $350,520, goes entirely to the bank. In interest. That is the price the contract never shows you. Now add the costs that never appear in the purchase price. Property taxes, approximately $3,000 a year. Home insurance, approximately $2,000 a year. Maintenance and repairs, the roof, the plumbing, the water heater, the HVAC, the paint. Conservatively, 1% of the home's value annually. On a $420,000 home, that is $4,200 a year. That is $9,200 a year in ownership costs. $276,000 over 30 years. Paul's real cost of home ownership, $84,000 down payment. $686,520 in mortgage repayments. $276,000 in ongoing ownership costs. Total, $1,046,520. For a house he bought for $420,000. Now take 30 seconds and think about your own home. Not the purchase price, not the current market value. Every dollar that has left your account because you own it. The mortgage payments, the property taxes, the insurance premiums, the repairs you did not plan for, the upgrades you told yourself were investments. Added up. Most homeowners have never done this calculation, and the ones who do are often genuinely shocked by the number. Your home's value going up does not mean you are ahead. It means you might be ahead once you subtract everything it cost you to get there. That is a calculation worth making before you make another financial decision based on a number you have never honestly verified. The bottom line. The price on the contract is just the beginning. The real cost takes 30 years to show up. The second problem. Your equity is not your wealth. Paul's home today is worth approximately $780,000. He bought it for $420,000. On paper, he has made $360,000. Paul feels wealthy. But here is what Paul's balance sheet actually looks like. Home equity, approximately $520,000. Investable assets outside the home, $31,000. Total liquid net worth, $31,000. Paul is 46 years old. He has $31,000 he can actually use. The rest is locked inside 4 walls he cannot sell without needing somewhere else to live. His home has absorbed everything. Every spare dollar for 18 years has gone into the mortgage, the maintenance, the taxes, the upgrades, because that is what homes demand. They are not passive. They are hungry. And the hunger never stops. Now look at Rachel. Rachel bought at 38 with a $544,000 mortgage at 6.8%. Her monthly payment? Approximately $3,552. Rachel earns $95,000 a year. She takes home approximately $6,500 a month. Her mortgage alone consumes $3,552 of that. Property taxes, insurance, maintenance, another $800 to $1,000 a month. Rachel has approximately $2,000 a month left for everything else. Food, transportation, clothing, her children's school costs, any savings at all. Rachel cannot invest. Not meaningfully. Not consistently. Not in any way that builds real wealth alongside the home she was told was building it for her. She cannot take a career risk. She cannot absorb a job loss without the mortgage becoming a crisis within months. Rachel is not homeownership's success story. Rachel is its hostage. Now ask yourself honestly, which one of these feels more like your life? Paul. Equity on paper, barely anything deployable. Every financial decision constrained by the asset that was supposed to free you. Or Rachel. Cash flow so tight that a single bad month becomes a genuine crisis. Because both of those situations are more common than most people admit. And both of them have the same root cause. Wealth was confused with equity. And equity, the number that sounds impressive at a dinner party, is not the same as the financial freedom you actually need. Wealth is what you can deploy. Wealth is what gives you options. A home you cannot sell without displacing yourself is not a liquid asset. It is a number on a page that makes you feel better than your bank account should. Ask yourself right now, what percentage of your net worth is locked inside your home? If the answer is above 70%, you are not wealthy. You are equity rich and option poor. And that distinction matters every single time you want to make a move in your financial life and find out you cannot. You cannot pay school fees with equity. You cannot fund a career change with equity. You cannot retire early with equity unless you sell the roof over your head. Paul has $520,000 in equity and $31,000 to his name. That is not wealth. That is the appearance of wealth with almost none of its function. The lesson: equity is not wealth until you can access it. And most homeowners never can. The third problem: What you gave up to own it. When Paul put down his $84,000 at 28, that money left his hands permanently. It went into the home. It has been sitting there ever since, growing with the property value, but locked away, unavailable, undeployable. Here is the question that changes the calculation. What if Paul had not bought? What if instead of putting $84,000 into a down payment, Paul had invested that $84,000 into a diversified index fund at 28? At a 7% average annual return over 18 years, that $84,000 would be worth approximately $280,000 today. But it does not stop there. Paul has been paying $1,907 a month in mortgage payments. If Paul had rented a comparable property for $1,400 a month instead, a reasonable assumption for the early years of his loan, he would have had $507 a month to invest. $507 a month for 18 years at 7% annual return, approximately $220,000. Combined, the down payment investment plus the monthly difference, Paul's alternative portfolio would be worth approximately $500,000 today, liquid, deployable, compounding. Instead, Paul has $31,000 in investable assets and $520,000 in home equity he cannot touch without selling his home. Now look at Rachel. Rachel put down $136,000 at 38. That same $136,000 invested at 7% over just 6 years would be worth approximately $204,000 today. Instead, it is sitting in a home whose value has barely moved since she bought near the top of the market. And every month, $3,552 leaves her account before she has the chance to build anything else. Here is the question this should raise for you. Think about your own down payment, the amount you pulled together, the savings you built up, the years it took to get there. Where would that money be today if it had been invested at 28, at 32, at 35? That is not a theoretical number. That is a real number, representing real compounding that did not happen because the money went into a down payment instead. This is what opportunity cost actually means, not a textbook concept, a specific, calculable amount of wealth that does not exist in your portfolio because it exists in your walls instead. Every dollar sitting in home equity is a dollar not compounding somewhere else. That is not an argument against owning a home. It is an argument for seeing your home as exactly what it is, not your wealth, but where a large portion of your wealth is currently sitting, locked, waiting, not working. The stock market does not need a new roof. The stock market does not charge you property taxes every quarter. The stock market does not call you on a Saturday morning about the water heater. The stock market does not trap you in one zip code. Paul and Rachel both own homes. Paul's looks like a success from the outside. Rachel's feels like a trap from the inside. Look closer, and they are both versions of the same story. Capital locked away, cash flow consumed, options quietly disappearing one mortgage payment at a time. The truth: a home is a liability with excellent PR. Your equity is the proof. The closing: what this actually means for you. So here is the actual answer: why buying a house may have been your worst financial decision. Paul and Rachel: different entry points, different price tags, same 3 problems. Paul bought early and built equity, but his equity is illiquid, his investable assets are negligible, and the opportunity cost of 18 years of capital locked in 4 walls is $500,000 that never compounded for him. Rachel bought late and bought at a stretch. Her cash flow is consumed. Her ability to invest is gone. Her ability to absorb any financial shock is gone. She is not building wealth through her home. She is surviving it. 3 problems, same answer. The price you see is not the price you pay. Paul's $420,000 home cost him over $1 million. The interest, the taxes, the insurance, the maintenance, none of it appears on the listing, and most homeowners never add it up. Your equity is not your wealth. Wealth is what you can deploy. Paul has $520,000 on paper and $31,000 in practice. Rachel has a payment that consumes most of what she earns. Equity rich, option poor, both of them. And what you gave up to own it is the wealth that was never built, the compounding that never happened, the $500,000 that does not exist in Paul's portfolio because it exists in his walls instead. This is not an argument for selling your home. It is not a case for renting forever. It is a case for seeing your home exactly as it is, not as your greatest financial achievement, not as the cornerstone of your retirement, but as a place to live that came with a financial cost most people have never honestly calculated, and a wealth opportunity cost most people have never honestly measured. So here is what clarity looks like. Not guilt, not regret. Clarity. You know your home's market value. Now calculate its real cost. Calculate the opportunity cost of your down payment. Calculate what percentage of your net worth is locked inside it. Then ask yourself, is my home working for me, or am I working for it? That answer determines your next move. Not selling necessarily, not refinancing necessarily, but knowing clearly and honestly what your home is actually doing in your financial life. Because a house you understand completely is a tool. A house you have never calculated is a story you tell yourself instead of a strategy. Paul is 46 with $31,000 to his name and a home he cannot sell without needing somewhere else to live. Rachel is 44 and cannot invest a single meaningful dollar because the mortgage took everything. Neither of them was shown the full picture when they signed. Now you have been. What you do with it is up to you. Remember this: your home is not your wealth. It is where your wealth lives, locked up, not working. Know the difference.